the ancient Near East, the sun was more than just a source of light and heat. It was the ultimate judge, a god named Shamash, who saw all things. So how did the biblical writers convince a people surrounded by sun worshippers that the sun, while powerful and visible, was actually subordinate to the God they could not see? The answer lies in a subtle, powerful war of words hidden in the very first chapter of Genesis, for there is nothing new under the sun. Hello everyone, this is Gilgamesh. If you want to learn more about this topic on your own, and I hope that you do, I have some recommended readings in the descriptions that I used while preparing this. The identity and roles of Shamash. Shamash was widely revered as a male deity, distinct from the sun goddess found in other traditions like the Ugaritic Shepesh or the South Arabian Shams. His primary cult center in Mesopotamia was Sippar, though his worship was widespread. His key attributes and roles included Patron of Justice and Law. Shamash was preeminently known as the God of Justice. He was worshipped as the patron of justice, protecting the maltreated and the downtrodden. His role is famously depicted in the Stele of Hammurabi, where Shamash is shown enthroned above the king, symbolizing his divine authority over legal codes. His temples often oversaw courts of law, reflecting his function as an arbiter and judge in mythological narratives. In some god lists, where Marduk was the national god, Shamash was even identified as the Marduk of Justice, or the Marduk of the Lawsuit, highlighting his specialized role within a larger pantheon. Cosmic Observer and Judge. Given his daily journey across the sky, Shamash was believed to possess a panoramic view of the world, seeing all that transpired. This privileged perspective made him ideally suited to deliver decisive answers in oracular inquiries. He was often invoked alongside Adad, the storm god, in oracular rituals such as the Tamitu oracles and the Ikrib prayers. These rituals customarily began with invocations like Shamash, Lord of the Judgment, Adad, Lord of the Divination, and concluded with prayers for truth from both of these deities. Daily journey and underworld connection. Babylonian mythology portrayed Shamash as daily emerging from the horizon and embarking on a journey from morning till night, toiling constantly. He was also thought to pass the night in the underworld, which allowed him to mediate between the living and the spirits of the dead. The storm god Adad was sometimes conceptualized as the cosmic force that animated Shamash, fanning him into flame at daybreak and propelling him through his journey across the upper and nether skies. Symbolism of life and vigor. As the source of light and warmth, the sun, and thus Shamash, was a symbol of life, vigor, happiness, and success. Its rising brought an end to the domain of unsavory characters and beasts of prey. Iconography and cultural presence. Shamash's importance was reflected in his iconography. The solar disk, originally his symbol, was assimilated by other national gods such as Ashur in Assyria to enhance their power. A 3rd millennium Mesopotamian seal impression depicts the sun god rising, flanked by gates with mountain lions, illustrating his majestic emergence. In the Anatolian hieroglyphic system, a winged solar disk represented the sun god. Topographical names in the Hebrew Bible, such as Beit Shamash, House of the Sun, attest to the presence of sun cults in early Palestine, indicating the widespread influence of solar religion, including aspects related to Shamash. Shamash and the Hebrew Bible, Polemic and Assimilation. The pervasive worship of the sun god Shamash and other solar deities in the ancient Near East represented a significant challenge and point of engagement for the religion of Israel. The Hebrew Bible demonstrates both a polemical stance against solar worship and assimilation of solar imagery to describe the Lord's attributes. Polemic against solar worship. The priestly account of creation in Genesis 1:14 through 19 deliberately avoids using proper names for the sun and moon, the Hebrew Shamash and Yoreach, instead referring to them as the greater light and the lesser light in Genesis 1:16. This is understood as an anti-Babylonian polemic specifically to prevent Israel from identifying these celestial bodies with deities like Shamash and attributing autonomous divine force to them. Furthermore, their creation is demoted to the fourth day, after light itself, and their function is reduced to merely rule or management, mim shalah, of the light, emphasizing their created non-divine status. This transformation in Genesis 1 presents the old light of the sun deity as a divinely created sun reflecting the primordial light of God, resolving any ambiguity between creator and creatures. The Lord's supremacy over the sun. The biblical narrative constantly asserts the Lord's absolute control over the sun. He can command it not to rise in Job 9:7, to stand still in Joshua 10:12, and even to move backwards in 2 Kings 20:11 or Isaiah 38:8. This demonstrates the Lord's power over what other cultures considered a powerful deity. Assimilation of solar imagery for the Lord. Despite the polemic, certain positive solar characteristics were transferred to the Lord, giving him a solar aspect. Justice and righteousness. The association of the sun with justice in the ancient Near East, particularly Shamash's role as judge, made solar imagery fitting for the Lord. Malachi 3:20, it's Malachi 4:2 in some editions of the Bible, speaks of the Son of Righteousness, Shamash Tzedakah, rising with healing in his wings for those who fear God's name. While some scholars attribute this phrase to the influence of the Shamash cult, others view it as figurative language for God's justice and salvation, rather than evidence of a solar cult for the Lord. Royal theology. Solar imagery was applied to the Israelite king and subsequently to the Lord, specifically within the context of the monarchy. For example, 2 Samuel 23:3-4 compares a just ruler to the sun shining forth upon a cloudless morning. Psalm 84:12 calls the Lord a sun and a shield, ki shemesh umagen Adonai, portraying him as a divine suzerain. This solarized Lord likely developed under the monarchical influence, enhancing the divine aura of the human king and the national god. Order and glory. In passages like Psalm 19:4-6, the sun's circuit is described as a testament to God's glory, analogous to the Torah's role in verses 7-10. The sun serves as a positive sign in the Lord's creation, a harmless sun that reflects divine order rather than being a deity itself. So, bringing it together, Shamash was a central deity in the ancient Near East, embodying justice, cosmic order, and the daily cycle of light and darkness. The Hebrew Bible, while acknowledging the sun's power and incorporating sun metaphors into the Lord's attributes, fundamentally recontextualized the sun within a monotheistic framework, stripping it of its divine status and asserting the Lord's ultimate sovereignty over all creation. I hope you found this useful. If you'd like to support the channel and help me bring out more content like this, please consider a membership if you're in a position to do so. Shalom.